Hey guys, this is my final video on the Marley speaker, at least for now. Remember, I found these three in a display, demo store display, and I took it apart over the last few videos. I tried to figure out how they work. We figured out that inside of this one here, the big one, there's a dedicated amp. There's no more Bluetooth functionality in it. And these other ones, I didn't open this because I found it too hard to start dismantling. But this one I opened, I found the original Bluetooth board, but it was basically directly tapped into for inputs and power. There's no batteries in any of these. And I tried using this with Bluetooth, which I'll demonstrate a bit later, and I couldn't connect. It would boot me out, but it did find that one. Anyway, I wanted to just show you what I did. So basically for this larger speaker, okay, I have here, I managed to just get my power out the back here. Before, it was coming out from the bottom. There's a hole somewhere here, right there. And there were screws coming out. So I wanted it to be able to sit flat. So I got it to come out the back. Now you'll notice, if you look at the back here, let me just zoom in there. Okay, you see that part there? So before, in the video, you saw there was a... basically some ports over there. I have it over here somewhere. This is it here. This was what was stuck to the back here. It was coming out of there, okay? You see? And I thought, okay, well, it looks like there's a circuit board in there, right? Have a look what it says. Let's zoom in here. It says jack display, but they misspelled display. They put dispali. It is basically a real USB port, a power LED, and audio input. But look at the back. It doesn't do anything. The power, okay, thankfully is, well, I'm not sure exactly what it's doing, but it doesn't look like it's connected to anything. Thankfully, they didn't short this because that would be bad. You'd be plugging it in and shorting it. So in case you thought about plugging it in, this at least is safe. You can see it's just connecting this entire plane here and to the LED. But the other stuff, like this audio, goes nowhere. And the rest of the board has no other traces, as far as I can see. So it's just a dummy board that's only there to function as a display model. And that's basically it. I mean, you could wire this up yourself if you want to use it. Just attach some more cabling around and then basically bodge the board any way you want. But that's what's on the inside of these things. So they're completely custom jobs. Let me zoom in again or focus. Okay, so let's give this a try just so you can see. Remember, all of these speakers came with power supplies. Okay, so this large one, I believe, takes which plug? This one here. The largest one uses 15 volts. The medium one uses 12, and the smallest one uses 5. So let's plug this in. You'll hear a popping noise because it just goes straight to full volume. There's a bit of a hum there. And I have I'll put a song here. Just plug it in. Give me a moment to get this going. Okay. And we can try this track here. That's not maximum volume. Let me blast it. Anyway, you lower the volume. You can't control any of the volume. These are all dummies, just like that board is a dummy over there. These connect to nothing. There's just a dedicated amp in here. You plug it in, power goes, and then you just hook up your phone and you just do this. So not a bad speaker. I mean, it's good to carry around. It's still not Bluetooth, but you know what? Because I've got a little audio cable there and you can extend it, just plug it into any phone and then run it and you're good to go. Let me stop this thing. Give me a second. Okay, so that's the big speaker. Let's unplug it. And there you have it, okay? Next, we have these two, okay? I'll plug them in. There's one, there's the other, okay? This one goes into here. So this, out of the back of this, I did this, basically I left it coming out the side here because the bottom sits straight, okay? There are ports here, under here. I'm pretty sure these are dummies as well. I highly doubt they're good for anything, but I didn't want to start dismantling this thing because some of these open up by taking off these rubber things and then it's hard to stick them back. So I didn't want to bother ruining them for nothing. So that's this one. We'll plug it in. And the same thing, as soon as you turn it on, it's going full speed. Two speakers, one here and one here. Okay, so that's that one. And then this last speaker, this little guy that looks like a little drum, uses a USB. Now, this one turns out to actually be real. You can actually plug in the USB here. There was a power jack coming out as well. But it turns out all it was doing was tapping into the same board that this is tapping into. So rather than having two cables coming out of this, I basically put one like that. And now I just have to power it like this, okay? The other interesting thing is this, again, this cable here, this phono input right there, actually is coupled into here. This is just tapping into the board exactly where this is. So you can do something interesting, which I'll show you in a moment. Let me just show you the speaker on its own. We'll unplug this one, and I'll plug this one in. Okay, so that's that one. Now, this is the interesting part. Because this jack over here is exactly the same as this, you can actually daisy chain this one to this one. What I mean by that is I can plug this speaker into here, right there. So it's now acting as an output, and this is my input. So what will happen is sound will go in through here. Because it's coupled to this, it's going to continue on to the other speaker. So we're going to now hear both of them going at the same time for a double speaker volume. Here, this is one. That one. I'll plug this in. That's one speaker, and here's the other one. You can put it like that. We got both going. I can only do two at a time. I can't plug in a third one. Unless I put a splitter. But anyway, let me just lower the volume here. But that's it. There you have it. So that's what ended up happening with the Marley speaker setup. As you can see here, all of them function. Oh, I was going to show you one more thing about the Bluetooth on this one. I have a couple minutes. Let me do that. So I'm going to show you how I tried to get in on the Bluetooth here. Now it's interesting, I'm not able to really get into here. Hold on, let me unplug this. Okay, leave it there. Okay, so this speaker here does have Bluetooth functionality. We're gonna go here into settings on the phone and go to Bluetooth. Okay, so there is a bunch of, if you can see that here. Okay, the way to get this to work is you basically have to unplug it. I unplugged it and then plug it in. And usually press a bunch of buttons. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna leave this here for a second. So the way you do it is you plug it in, and as you plug it in, you have to press the button over here, which I think sets it up to receive Bluetooth, like that. And it doesn't always work. We'll try it again. Look what showed up. You see that? Marley Chant Mini. Okay? So the board is in here. Okay? But look what happens when I try to connect to it. Oops. I'm gonna click it. It tries. And then doesn't do anything. Something's up with the Bluetooth receiver, see? Pairing unsuccessful. Make sure Marley Chant Mini is turned on in range and is ready to pair. So there's something up with this thing. Either they disabled it or it's a faulty board, but I'm not sure why. It does detect it, interesting enough, see? It's still there. Maybe I have to hold this thing down again. Okay, here, I'm gonna hold it down and we'll try again. But yeah, it's interesting that it's detected. So there is the original Bluetooth enabled amplifier board in the small speaker, but that's the only one. There we go. The larger one here, right over here, I've tried and it does not let me pair. You can try this one again. I think, again, you unplug it and plug it in while you hold down, I guess, one of these buttons on top. We'll see what happens. I doubt that it works because I think they started using just the amplifier board on these ones. They don't, it's like the larger speaker. This thing doesn't have the original board in it. So it's basically just a dummy board that lets you amplify the music. But yeah, okay, anyway. So there you have it. The Marley speaker breakdown and what I was finally able to do with these speakers, which unfortunately are not Bluetooth enabled, and they have no batteries in them, although I could wire in a battery in this thing. Okay. I also could plug in other little mini, like a little mini MP3 player could be easily included or put into this box, and I could have a little cutout here over in this part of the wood, or maybe even here or anywhere on the top, and I could have buttons to access it to play music. So you can still hack this thing quite a lot of ways because there's a lot of room internally, although you may end up creating vibrations and affecting the sound if you start adding too many things inside and they start rattling. So better not to play around with the enclosure too much. But basically you can still use this thing as long as you plug it in, or if you decide to bring in, attach a battery of some kind and a power source, you can probably place it inside of this thing as long as you attach it very, very securely. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, thanks for watching, and please give me a thumbs up. Bye for now.